AI revolution. Why is it that Africa is positioned to lead? Well, when we go back in the history of maths, there's a very important place called Alexandria in Egypt. Alexandria in Egypt was a place that allowed Alexandria in Egypt was a place that the father of geometry came from. It was a place that some other key figures came from that transformed the world of mathematics. So once upon a time, Africa was actually leading in many ways. But today, when we look at the state of education in Africa, it's very concerning, not only in the opportunities that some students have to go to school, but when you look at the out of school children, that is another challenge that we have in Africa. But imagine if we educated every single child in Africa and gave them all the tools that they needed to succeed. Imagine what that will do to transforming the human capital on the whole continent. Sorry, let me just get this better situated. Okay, so imagine if we can get all the children a solid education in Africa. That means that we'll have over 1 billion children that are learning from a quality education standpoint. What will that do for us if we have 1 billion children that are learning very well? If Africa leads, the world will start coming and asking questions about how can we take part in what you guys are doing. So my vision for education in Africa, by the grace of God, is to make Africa a beacon of light in education in the AI revolution. And I want to start that in Jos, Nigeria. And I want to start that in Westwood by God's grace, right? So how can Westwood be positioned to be the best school in the world? We have the recipe, and that's what we'll be sharing with you at these trainings. You see, if we understand what the rules are right now in education, if we understand where the world is going, it is such that it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter what society or what country, there is only sort of one standard that the whole world is looking to right now. That standard is the artificial intelligence capabilities of their society. So, for example, in China, they have over 50% of the AI scientists. China does. In America, we are trying to see how can we position ourselves to become leaders in the AI revolution. And the way we position ourselves is to train our students to start learning AI, from a younger age. This is happening already in China. In many countries that are already leading in the world, they're adding AI capabilities to their classes. Here's what that means. Have you guys ever watched a 4x100 race where Usain Bolt from Jamaica was involved? When Usain Bolt was involved, if you look at Usain Bolt, he's running, and if you look at Jamaica, Jamaica is already taking first most of the time, and they're about to give the baton to Usain Bolt. When they give the baton to Usain Bolt, it is bye-bye at this point. Forget it. Usain Bolt is gone. That is what we see when we give the baton to Usain Bolt, and he now runs faster than everybody, even though they were already leading in the race. Why is this important? Because for Africa, we were not necessarily leading at the moment. We're not necessarily leading at the moment. However, the other countries that are leading are now about to get supercharged. That means they are going to run very far away from us. Africa needs to move and get ahead before they do that. Because for countries that don't, and continents that don't adopt the understanding of AI capabilities, they will be left behind in the dark ages. And I'm being honest, and sorry, it sounds harsh, but it's the reality. If you know history, remember what happened during the Middle Ages. And I know it's not necessarily should not be called the Dark Ages because some good things were happening. But in some ways, there were certain parts of society that were left behind because they didn't know how to read. If you didn't know how to read, you were going to be left behind. Today, if you don't understand AI, you will be left behind. So within the teacher training, we have to integrate a discussion about AI and AI ethics. AI has serious problems that it can bring, and I'll tell you some of the problems today. But AI also has a lot of benefits that it can bring. And how we deal with AI can help us increase our efficiency as a school 1,000%. Yes, 1,000% better. Schools can become 1,000% better if they use AI. And I'll tell you how and why. Let me tell you that right away, and then we'll come back to discussing our topic. So our topic again has to do with empowering African educators in the AI revolution. Let me get one thing here. I'm going to go back and preparing African educators for the AI revolution. Why are we calling it African educators? Because the needs are the same in many parts of Africa. So how can we grow collaboration within Westwood? So the Westwood teachers, if you guys are all collaborating with one another, you will change the world of education. We need to spur one another on to good works. We need to be looking out for one another in this age of AI, in the sense that me, I'm teaching physics, and I realize something that is interesting. I'll now call my colleague that is teaching biology or chemistry and tell them, have you seen how this is connected to what you are doing? And now we start collaborating. Interdisciplinary duties, interdisciplinary studies are going to be very important in the age of AI. So if you don't know what interdisciplinary studies are, we'll talk about that more as well. Let me copy one link here, and we'll move on to the next slide. So AI is very important. We know that. How will we help Africa take first? Well, that is what my goal is. My goal is to help Africa become a leader in the AI revolution. And the way I'll do that is starting with mathematics and science, but we also need English and history. So we need everybody to get what the tools they need to be able to collaborate and then take the lead. So it's interdisciplinary. Quality education is the foundation for Africa's leadership at this point. Quality education is the foundation. Teachers are the catalysts. If you guys remember what chemistry does, we talk about catalysts. A catalyst is something that affects the activation energy of a reaction by lowering the activation energy for that reaction to happen. So teachers, you are the ones who can transform Africa. You have the keys to transform Africa. Your education and your teaching of the future leaders is what will help Africa to be positioned to lead in the AI revolution. So number one, education, a solid education foundation is necessary. Number two, teachers are the foundation. Number three, collaboration amongst educators will amplify impact and accelerate transformation. Number four, we need scalable, excellent education that creates economic independence and technological advancement. And number five, the AI revolution demands educators who will develop critical thinkers, not information consumers alone. So let's break down some of these. Number one, quality education is the foundation for Africa's leadership in the global revolution. Let us now believe Africa can lead. Africa must lead. We can lead in the AI revolution, and we have to lead. The reason why we have to lead is because the AI revolution has some downsides. Remember, I mentioned that earlier. Now, we'll talk about the downsides, but before I do that, I have to whet your appetite with the upside. When you look at AI, you can use AI to create customized curriculum for your students. You can use AI to create resources that can transform the learning of your students. So you should be thinking about how to deploy AI to do that. You can use AI to make more examples for your students. You can use AI to make videos to explain concepts for your students. You can use it to do many things. Now, let's talk about the downside and why Africa must lead in the AI revolution. Do you know that with AI, you can now make videos that are called deep fakes? A deep fake is when you make a video of a scenario that never happened or somebody talking that never said what the video says that they're saying. How many of us have ever heard of deep fakes before? Is there, okay, Scott, you can tell me the count in the chat later. But if you have not heard of deep fakes are like this morning, somebody posted a video, or the last few days, someone posted a video in a WhatsApp group. And in that video, there was a man who was talking about something in Nigeria. And the video looked very real. The man who posted the video, after he posted the video, he made a comment and was saying something like, you guys can see what's happening now, you know? And he was talking about all these things. I saw the video, and immediately I knew that the video was fake. And so I told somebody from the WhatsApp group, I said that this video is fake. You have to be mindful of the fact that somebody is going to think that it is real, and now you are going to start fighting. People are fighting because they think it's real, but it is fake. But see, no, some people don't know the difference between a deep fake video and an authentic video. Do you know that there are professors in the US now? Their job is to help US government and the government of the world to catch deep fake videos. I don't know if you guys know. That's their job. The reason why they have to do that is, imagine if a military general tells a lie in a deep fake video and the soldiers think that it is true. You have started a war. That's why we need to know about deep fakes. So AI can cause deep fakes. That's number one, the number one problem. Number two, AI can increase cybersecurity risks. Even this week alone, I don't know if it was AI that caused it, but there was a problem that happened, and the cloud infrastructure, I believe it was of Amazon, was affected. When it stopped working, many schools could not operate. They couldn't operate because their students could not log into the website to see the materials they are supposed to be working on. So, number one, deepfakes are going to be a problem. Number two, cybersecurity is going to be a problem. Not like people that are using AI to hack computer systems. So we know that there are some challenges. Number three, some students might get addicted to AI. They might get addicted to AI entertainment and AI material so that they are not paying attention. Their attention span will get shorter. My friends, I know that there are issues that can happen with any technology, and AI is no exception. But just because there are downsides does not mean we don't understand how to use it. But we need to be mindful of the ethics of AI. And Mr. Scott will be talking more about this in the coming weeks. We'll be talking about the ethics of AI. But you cannot allow the ethics of AI to stop you from understanding how it works and then using it to help your students learn better. Africa can lead the AI revolution by equipping educators to deliver world-class education at scale through collaboration and innovation. One of my heart's desires for Plateau State and for Jos especially is I would like to see the GDP of Jos double in the next 5 years. I would like to double the GDP. I would like to double the income earning potential of all Josites. Why? Because I believe that Jos is being positioned right now to be the world's leader in STEM education. I believe by God's grace that Jos, Nigeria, is being positioned to becoming the leader in STEM education. And that revolution is starting at Westwood Park in Jos. How are we going to revolutionize education in all of Africa and the world, starting from Jos? By equipping educators with the tools, with AI resources, and impacting them with knowledge that they can use to transform education in their schools. Imagine if students in America or in England want to learn physics and mathematics, and they want to learn it from a teacher that knows AI and understands how to design curriculum, custom-made curriculum. That means that a teacher that has been trained in Jos can teach students after school, and that teacher can begin to have 500 students, 1,000 students that they're helping around the world that log in and watch that teacher teach. Now you see how we begin to raise the GDP of Jos, because we are exporting academic excellence from Jos to the world. And you know, Jos is already on a hill. And I believe I told Mrs. Minor this before, and we talked about this. Jos is on a hill. You have a platform. That platform, by the grace of God, is about to start shining bright all across the world. And when the world gets the attention of Jos, I believe that infrastructural development is coming at a much faster rate to the city of Jos, to Plateau State, and to all of Nigeria and beyond, by God's grace. This is going to require all of us coming together, uniting in understanding what the vision is. The vision is education transformation for the world. Now, some of us might be saying, who are we to say anything? We are just in Jos, Nigeria. How can we transform the world? Oh, remember in the Bible, it talks about do not despise humble beginnings. It talks about the fact that sometimes some things come from the almost unexpected place. We were not expecting it to come from there, but just like that, we are going to sweep the world with STEM education excellence. And that comes from the teachers who are in this meeting and beyond, from Westwood and beyond. I know that there are English teachers in this meeting. I know there are history teachers and social study teachers. Your involvement in collaboration is critical. In the AI revolution, it is not those who know math and science alone that will do well. It is those that know how to structure sentences well. So we need the English teachers. We need the social studies teachers. We need one another. We need the Hausa teachers and other teachers to translate for us. My people, transformation is coming. Africa will be transformed by God's grace. We pray and we work. There is work to be done, and that work has to be done with strategy. So I hope you are excited. I'm excited, and I hope you are excited for what is going to happen, starting at Westwood Park, and for Jos, and for Plateau, and for Nigeria, and for Africa. And by the grace of God, when they read it in the history books, they will talk about one school in Jos in 2025 gave their teachers the tools that they needed. And the teachers started stepping up into many arenas of AI expertise and literacy. And now they have transformed their city. They have transformed their state. My people, there is hope. In a time where hopelessness is going to be in abundance for some people, there is hope. And why do I want Africa to lead? Let me now tell you why I want Africa to lead. Not just that Africa can lead, but it must lead, and I want it to lead. Because people are not talking enough about the spiritual side of what happens when human beings start depending on AI too much. People are not talking enough about some of the challenges that can happen when we don't also spend time studying God's word in the age of AI. Africans have a spiritual heritage, at least in Nigeria, we have, and especially in Jos, we have a heritage, a spiritual heritage, and we need to bring that into the discussion of AI. But see, some of these leaders of AI companies, they don't even believe in God. So they think they are creating something that can solve all their problems. But you and I know that we need God. The reason why AI works is because of the belief that humans have a superior intellect, and that is what the computer scientists are trying to copy. They are trying to copy the creation that God has made while denying the one who created the creation. So, Africa, here is how we must lead. We must lead in the ethics of AI. We must lead in helping people understand that AI has serious implications. Do you know that just yesterday, some people were signing a document called "Please Slow Down AI Development Towards Super Intelligence"? That was the document they were signing. Some AI scientists even signed. They were saying that we are moving too fast. Now, we must understand AI and we can use AI. Don't get me wrong. But there are some people in the AI research community that are not willing to admit that human beings need to remain in charge and we need to be careful what we build. Remember in the Bible, the story of the Tower of Babel. In the Tower of Babel, the problem that happened there was that some human beings thought, let us build to the heavens. They wanted to do something for their own glory. God disrupted their plans. Now, with AI, AI is just like a computer. Please don't get it mixed up. AI is just like a computer. And just like any computer, you can use computer for good and you can use computer for bad. But the problem is that with AI, there is not enough discussions about what will happen when people's jobs are displaced. Because some people will lose their jobs since AI can do it with automation and robotics. What will happen to those people? We need to start talking about that more now. But as it ties to Westwood, you and I need to understand that AI is not going to replace teachers. We need more teachers, not less, with AI. And what AI can do is it can make your ability to teach better and more effective, because now you can help your students to learn much faster. Let me give you one practical example of AI. Do you know that with AI, you can learn 6 years of new general mathematics in 1 year? I don't know if you guys know that. With AI, you can learn 6 years of mathematics in 1 year. I'm serious. I've already done the AI analysis. You can learn all of new general mathematics in 1 year. That means if you give me an SS1 student or give me a JS3 student now, I can teach them JS1 to SS3 in 1 year. Why is that important, and what is that good for? I'm not saying we should do that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if we can condense everything into one website, that means that the students at Westwood that might be struggling in mathematics in SS1, we can give them JS1 to JS3 material to master in 2 months. That means that if they've forgotten everything they learned from JS1 to 3, we can give it to them to learn fast so that they can learn SS1. You guys see where I'm going with this? You can help students catch up fast who are behind. And those who are wanting to get ahead, you can do extra lessons, they can keep learning. But my point is, you can customize education to a child. Let me just tell you one more story, and then we'll sing a song and then be done, except you have any questions. There was, in the 1700s, as I told my staff, 1700s, people did not used to go to school. I don't know if everybody knows. Students did not used to go to school. It wasn't very common for everybody to go to school. So then the Industrial Revolution came. Some of the children were working in the factories instead of going to school. And then something happened. William Wilberforce ended slave trade. He also fought for the abolition of very difficult situations for children in school. I mean, in the society. So then they now started allowing children to go to school. When they started allowing children to go to school, the method they had to use was from the Industrial Revolution, and it was the only way you could do it. But in 1998, something changed in the world. Google became a thing. When Google came out, what it meant was that basically now anybody could learn anything they wanted, right? When Google came on September 4th, 1998, anybody could find resources. So when I was in GSS, in 1998, I was in primary 5. When I was in primary 5, I didn't have access to GSS 1 or GSS 2 textbooks. But I always enjoyed thinking ahead about different topics. By the grace of God, I was the best in common entrance in primary 5 in my school, Air Force Primary School, Victoria Island, Lagos. So I didn't, so that was my educational background. I loved learning, and I was the first in my class, and I was the best in common entrance in Lagos, in my school. But here's the thing. If I was studying and I understood what I was learning, I wanted to get ahead, I didn't have access to the materials to get ahead. But when Google came, now everybody had access to the materials to get ahead. But the world did not change when Google came. We kept educating the same way we were educating before Google came. When AI has come now, it's making Google look like a small child in terms of their search capability. Because not only does AI have all the search capabilities, it can create content for people, generate content. So the reason why I bring this up to all of us in the room today is this. The time has come in education for us to think twice about what we are doing. In the sense that, is what I'm doing meeting up with the demands of the society that I'm sending my children to enter? Is what I'm doing meeting the demands of the society that I'm sending the children to enter? Is our teaching practices meeting up with the demands of the time? And I'm just going to give all of us a news break for the whole world. No matter what country you are in, your education system is at risk. All countries. Because AI is giving all these students all these tools, and it is going against the education system that was built before AI came. AI is undermining our education system. So what should we do about it? We need to be thinking ahead. What does the world look like in the next 5, 10, or 15 years? The world is looking very different. Do you know that there are some people that are trying to make it so that when you wake up in the morning, you have a robot that has done all your work. You have a robot that is cleaning your house. You have a robot that is doing this, and you have a robot that is doing that. Now, in Africa, I hope that we empower more people. We don't need robots to be doing our duties. I personally think we need to empower human beings more and not bring more robots, especially to Africa. Now, there are some countries that need the robots because they don't have a younger population. Africa has population. That is not our issue. Our issue is, how are we developing our population to flourish, because they were made in the image of God. Therefore, our education system needs to be focused on human flourishing. That is the point I wanted to get to. And then I'll sing one song and be done. Excuse me. So we need to help children realize that they are capable of being much better than they think they are. You know, there are some children who would say to you, me, I'm not smart, or me, I can't, I'm just struggling, I can't do better. No, you can do better. Everybody can do better. Everybody can improve in whatever they are learning, but the methods that are used for teaching have to be reviewed to make sure that they are not hindering the child's abilities, but that we are helping the child to flourish. My people, I am grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful to all teachers for what they do. And this is not to undermine what you are doing. No, this is to amplify it and to support you. Because you are starting a revolution by God's grace. You at Westwood are going to change the world. You are going to change the world by showing the world what quality education can look like in the age of AI. And do not for a second think that it's only people in certain societies or certain schools that have certain funding that can change the world. No, anybody at this point can change the world of education. I'm going to give us homework to read a book over the next 8 weeks. That book is called Up From Slavery. That book is called Up From Slavery. And the reason why I want you to read the book is because you are going to learn about the story of a man called Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington changed the world. And I believe that his story can inspire Westwood Park and all educators to change their world. My prayer for Jos is that by the grace of God, in the next 5 to 10 years, the biggest airplanes in the world will be flying out of Jos, Nigeria, because of the STEM excellence coming from Jos. People from Texas will be coming to Jos to beg, tell us what you are doing, because what you are doing is transforming lives. Why are your students so exceptional? Tell us your recipe. By God's grace, in the next 5 to 10 years, airplanes will be flying into Jos because of what Westwood has started. I'm talking of big airplanes, 747s, A380s, because of what Westwood has done. And what is the thing Westwood is doing by God's grace? You are doing exceptional teaching practices combined with AI understanding. When you combine those two things together, you are becoming the best school in the world. That's what you get. My people, the door has opened. Let us enter and run and take firsts. This is Africa's time. But we are starting from one place and then to the rest of the world. So let me sing a song that I think is very interesting and brings to mind some of what we're talking about. We're talking about new things, a new era in education. But ultimately, what matters most first is we need new life. So let me sing the song which came from Plateau State. I believe it was Mr. Paul Gindiri. And sing along with me if you know the song. Sabon re don kowa, Sabon re don kowa, Sabon re don kowa, Sabon re don kowa. Aduar mukenan munene anua wadanda wasuso saborena. Kosher mukenan munene anua wadanda wasuso saborena. Sabon re don kowa, Sabon re don kowa. Sabon re don kowa, Sabon re don kowa. And as we were singing that song, I thought of another one. Sorry, let me practice my Hausa with one more song. Sunan Yesu gadonane, Sunan Yesu taimakona, Sunan Yesu Nasarawa ne, Sunan Yesu mai sarki. So, my friends, change is coming. New things are happening. Westwood Park is leading. Let us continue to lead by being innovative, because anyone who does not remain creative or innovative in the AI revolution will be left behind. Thank you so much for this time, and I'll hand it over to Mr. Scott for any questions, thoughts, comments, or objections. Mr. Scott Okabi, if you have any questions, do you mind typing it in, or somebody can text it to me on WhatsApp as well? Uh, Sorry, I'm just waiting if there's any questions.